If you want to replace your 9 to 5 income with real estate investing, there's several ways you can do it as a beginner. Never mind what you might hear on TV or what you might think you know. I promise, because I've done it before, it doesn't take any money to buy a rental property, to buy a flip property, or even to start a group home or do an Airbnb. Now in this video, I'm going to share with you how you can get started as a beginner. New credit is not really a thing, but you can own real estate, own, not rent, and be able to replace your 9 to 5 income. And in this video, I'm going to share some basic steps of how you can step by step acquire your first property, so that way you can make your first, passive check or your first flip property check. What's up guys, it's your boy Sawan Belcher. This is me taking action on Instagram and YouTube, and here on the This Is Me Taking Action YouTube channel, we go over how to make as much money as you want during a 30-day period of time using real estate while you cherry pick the very best deals for yourself. Now, when you're asking your question is how do you start in real estate as a beginner, you probably want to start with what you have, right? There's a array of things that you might think you need, and some of it could be helpful, but realistically, that's all just jargon and fluff. Do you want monthly checks where you're dealing with a tenant that you're going to have to manage? Do you want quick checks because you need money right now? There's something big, a wedding, a car, something that you want to buy, and in the next 60 days, if you could make $10,000 or $20,000, then hey, that's what you want to do. Or do you want your own personal property? Right now, you might be renting a property and paying a landlord to live out his dreams, and you see him drive up in his fancy Lexus, and you're thinking, how do I pay less and own my own house? Now, after you know what you want, then you need to determine what you have. Number one is going to be money. Like I said, you can do this with zero money, but realistically, the more of it that you have, the easier this process will be. Secondly, is credit. Me personally, I still don't use my credit for any of the deals that I've done. Over 400 deals that I use, and it's just not something that's perfect. Typically, I float around a 680, but honestly, I've closed deals when I was a 500. So you have to determine where you are right now in credit, because I will say the higher your credit score, the easier it's going to be, but it's not necessarily a requirement. And then lastly is how fast do you want to do this? Are you okay with taking a little time? Let's call it 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years to do your first deal? Or do you, want to do it in the next 30 days, or the next 60 days? You want to look at how much time you have. If you have money, okay, let's say you have $15,000 or $20,000. This is going to help make it faster for you because you'll have more options. You can use $15,000 or $20,000 to use as a down payment to buy a property. Down payments, don't necessarily have to be used in a traditional means, but can be. Traditional might mean that you'll reach out to a mortgage broker and they'll have access to 5, 6, 10, 30 different banks to get you the best qualifying, factors, and they don't get paid until they get you money. But that down payment money could also be used to find sellers who want to sell property but don't want to incur the capital gains, the taxes from the penalties, the taxes from the amount that they'll make. They don't want to incur that amount, so they'd much rather sell you a house, you bring your down payment, and then you pay them monthly payments over time. But once again, the down payment is not a requirement. Let's say that you do have great credit. This is going to help expedite how fast you can do this process, but once again, it's not needed. If you do have great credit, use it. Today, God, okay? You'll be able to get credit cards right now, get approved for a loan, and really there's no loan that's bad. Now, there are things inside of a loan that might not be in your best interest, but realistically, you getting a loan to do your ultimate goal of buying a house is what you want. If you want to look for a little fixer-upper that needs some work, hard money or private money is going to be your friend. You know, if you don't mind putting a larger amount down with your great credit, you can go conventional, especially if you got a great deal on a fixer-upper. And then lastly is how much time you have. Now, realistically, I think you guys should be getting a property as fast as possible, like sprinting towards that thing right now. Okay, because at the end of the day, Monopoly is about ownership. And realistically, we should be trying to buy and own and control as much as possible until we die. Now, once you have what you want together, and then also what you have, money, credit, and time, then that's gonna put you in a certain category of the strategy that you're gonna implement. Now, the first strategy that can get you money quick is gonna be wholesaling. You finding a deal from a seller who wants to sell quick. In exchange, you'll get a great deal and be able to sell it and make $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 pretty quickly. And it won't require any of your money or your credit. Next thing is you can also buy a property if you have a little bit better credit. When you get into this category of buying a property, always remember your original goal of what you actually wanted. Don't go into buying a property and holding it for 10 years if you didn't want monthly income. If your goal was to make a $10,000 check or a $20,000 check in the next 6 months, and you're able to buy a property by using a traditional loan or seller financing or subject to, and you have that opportunity to make your result that you wanted, $10,000, $20,000 in 6 months, get your result and go. Okay, after you have implemented what you want, figuring out what you have, and then also starting to market for motivated sellers, at the end of the day, make the offer that you can do. I traditionally make offers so good that if they say no matter what, I can make money on it. Look, I hope this was helpful to you guys. If you have any questions about how you can buy your first rental property, personal home, or investment property, Airbnb or group home, drop it in the comments below and I'll be sure to make a video about it. Peace, y'all.